This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been training.
What's up, baby? Woo! Man, are you excited? Because I know I am. Super Bowl, baby! Yeah! Man, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Welcome on this beautiful, glorious Monday, March the 13th, right here on Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. I am your host, Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure you also follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music, except on Twitter, where we are at MIA Sports Music. Make sure you guys do check it out. Follow us on all the social media outlets. Make sure when you guys come in, you hit the like button. If you haven't already hit it already, what are you waiting for? Hit the like button. Hit it. Matter of fact,
Fence for life, we throw the fuck.
all right, see, I put the wrong thing in. There we go. Let me put it here. That's what I was waiting for. Hit the like button. Make sure y'all do that there. Also, hey, look, you want to sign up and become a member today? The link is in the description below to sign up and become a member. We'd love to see you to sign up and become a member. Welcome to the family. My Vin Diesel voice. Family. Make sure y'all sign up today. Would love for you to become part of the wonderful family here at Miami Sports Music. The link is in the description. Sign up today. If you want to help the channel grow by donating, lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat. You can also use Cashapp or PayPal. Cashapp is $MSMpodcastNetwork, or use the QR code that's right on your screen. Or you can use PayPal, which is also MSMpodcastNetwork, or use the QR code that's right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports, Hangry Owls, Vasasor, a great place to sit.com, and Tail Greeter. We love Tail Greeter. Download all the apps today in your current Apple or Android devices. Make sure y'all do that. Miami Sports Music. Man, we got a big show lined up for you today. Dolphins robbed the Rams. Ramsey traded to the Dolphins. The reaction of that. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I hope y'all are excited about it, because I know I am. A lot of, yesterday we're sitting at home. We're relaxing on a Sunday afternoon. And bam! My phone starts going off, and I see that the Miami Dolphins make, actually at that point it was rumors that they were allegedly going to be making a trade for Jalen Ramsey, one of the best cornerbacks, if not the best cornerback in the NFL, okay, arguably, and that it was imminent. A deal was imminent, and they were on the move from it. And then, 20 minutes later, it was, concluded on the internet. It was confirmed on the internet by Adam Schefter. Trade is now agreed to. Dolphins get Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and the Rams get, wait for it, a 2023 third-round draft pick, the number 77 overall, in backup third-string tight end Hunter Long with one career catch. Excuse me? What? We only had to give up a third-rounder and a third-string tight end for the best cornerback in the NFL? Sign me up. Sign me up. Where do I sign? I'm ready to go. I am taking that trade all day long. Never thought in a million years that trade could happen at that price. First of all, why isn't every Super Bowl contending team making a trade for that? I mean, unbelievable. Caslin 143, a member of the channel, member for 2 months, says, I'd like someone to call the FBI, NSA, Homeland Security. The Finns robbed the Rams for a third pick. WTF, that's highway robbery. No doubt about it. I agree. I agree. Couldn't believe it. Here's my reaction to it. Number one, the Dolphins at the end of the year press conference, Chris Grier stated, if you think that we're going to be as aggressive as last offseason, I don't think we are. I knew that was a lie, okay, because they had to be somewhat aggressive in some way, shape, or form. Then they cleared all this cap space over the last few days. And the last week, I was like, there's got to be something here that shows that the Dolphins are about to make a big move for something. So every Miami Dolphins fan was having this dream of, okay, what is it? What are they doing? Are they signing for a big name trade? Or are they clearing way to just make a lot of free agency signings? What are they doing? I never thought in a million years. It's the same way last offseason that I never thought we could get a Tyreek Hill. When the Tyreek Hill trade went down last year, didn't think that it was possible. As a matter of fact, for the last few years, I remember having conversations with friends and family, my wife. There's no way somebody like Tyreek Hill is going to come to the Dolphins. We can't get a Tyreek Hill. Well, I was wrong about that. We got him last offseason. No way we can get Jalen Ramsey. No way. Yesterday, Nando Talk, shout out to Nando Talk, who has a show right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network and who does Tuesday mornings with me on Hot Takes Tuesday, makes a joke in the morning on Twitter. Man, Dolphins, please trade a third-round pick and Noah Igbenogany for Jalen Ramsey. Didn't think that that it could happen. Didn't think there was a way that it was going to go down, but it did. It's unbelievable the trades and moves that Chris Grier has made over the last couple of off seasons. I'm telling you right now, Chris Grier is a top 10 GM in all of football. There's no doubt about it. The moves that he has made, the salary cap manipulation, getting players of Super Bowl caliber, former Super Bowl champions. Jalen Ramsey, former Super Bowl champion. Tyreek Hill, former Super Bowl champion. The Miami Dolphins are making moves to be one of the most elite teams in the NFL next year. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you, because the Dolphins are making them. And by the way, they still have salary cap room. They're still going to be making more free agent signings. There could be more trades coming down the line. Jordan Poyer, maybe. Right now, this team, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah. This is already one of the best defenses in the NFL. You can't tell me that it's not. And then you bring in Vic Fangio? You make him the highest paid defensive coordinator of all time? Who cares? Let's go. If you don't think that this team is Super Bowl bound, I don't know what to tell you. We could sit here and have a quarterback discussion all day long. Any decent quarterback, not even a good quarterback, any decent quarterback should win football games with this team. There is no excuses for the Miami Dolphins this year. None, on the offensive side or the defensive side. If you cannot get excited about what the Miami Dolphins are doing, I don't know what to tell you. This is the best the Miami Dolphins have been, the best position they've been in the last 20-plus years. And if they do get Jordan Poyer, you can't tell me he's not the best secondary. It's already the best secondary in the NFL. The Dolphins have a 1-2 in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the offensive side, and they have Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, and Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side. Brandon Jones is no slouch. Let's go. You got Kader Kahu, an undrafted rookie free agent who's absolutely amazing, not to mention Trill Williams, who didn't even get to play it down last year. We still can go on and get Bobby Wagner. Tell me this is not one of the best defenses we've had since the early 2000s. It is time to get pumped. It is time to get excited. If you are not excited, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. Because if you can't get excited with moves like this, if you're not excited for the GM to make moves like this, I can't help you as a fan. This team has done everything right last offseason and now heading into this offseason. There were first-year mistakes during the year. Yes, so be it with the first-time head coach. He's made some changes. He's making things the way that he wants. Chris Grier is giving everything to Vic Fangio. Chris Grier is giving everything to Mike McDaniel. There's no way that this team, if this team fails, I don't know what else to tell you. The Miami Dolphins are poised in 2023 to make a Super Bowl run. You do not make trades for Tyreek Hill. You do not make trades for Jalen Ramsey. And by the way, it was a highway robbery. They didn't have to give up a first-round pick. They didn't have to give up a second-round pick. They didn't even have to give up both third-round picks. They still have a second-round and a third-round pick this year coming up in the draft. And you gave up a backup tight end with one career catch? If I'm a Rams fan this morning or yesterday evening, I'm pissed. I'm furious. We gave up one of the best defensive players in the league for what? A backup tight end and a third-round draft pick? Come on. It was a highway robbery. It wasn't even the fact that we made the trade. It's what we had to give up, which was nothing. And I got some people in the chat here saying, whoa, $17 million. We haven't even seen a restructured contract yet. Allegedly, this week, Chris Grier's going to restructure that contract. So it might not even be a $17 million cap hit this year. And it probably won't be when it's all said and done. It is a highway robbery if I've ever seen one. And the fact, and for people that have a hesitation about Chris Grier's GM abilities, let me clear some stuff up for you. This is the same GM that traded Laramie Tunsil to the Houston Texans for an ungodly amount in return, which was also a highway robbery. By the way, Houston Texans are saying that Laramie Tunsil is back on the trade block. Could you imagine? I need y'all to think about something for a second. Let's just for a second. Let's just think about it. Laramie Tunsil gets traded back to the Miami Dolphins and wins the Super Bowl. Tell me he's not the greatest GM of all time if that happens. Tell me how he's not. Tell me how he's not if he gets Laramie Tunsil, brings him back. Come on. Y'all want to sit here and argue about a quarterback. Get out of here. Miss me with that. The Miami Dolphins are going to be one of the best football teams. They are one of the best football teams ever assembled. You can't deny that. You can argue with me all you want. You can't deny that he is making one of the best rosters of all time in football. He's making an all-star team, an all-time Pro Bowl team, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's amazing. And we're not done. We still get restructures. Here's what I predict over the next few days. We are going to get a middle linebacker. That's going to happen. We are going to get a middle linebacker. My prediction, Bobby Wagner's coming to Miami. I believe that. Whether that comes to fruition or not, we'll see. But no matter what, the Dolphins will get a linebacker. I still think that Jordan Poyer comes here. I'm just saying. I still think Jordan Poyer ends up here. And I want you all to think about this for a second. Even if Jordan Poyer doesn't already come here, we still have Brandon Jones, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, Trill Williams, Cater Kahoo. You add Jordan Poyer in the mix, there's nothing. There's nothing there's no other secondary in the league that competes with us. None. People are sitting here talking about a calculator in the chat. A Bills fan in the chat talking about a calculator. My guy. I don't know if you know this or not, but our GM and Brandon Shore are master manipulators of the salary cap. Hello. Go look at it. The Dolphins will do it. They will make the numbers work. It's going to happen. And yes, I still believe the Dolphins will address the offensive line in free agency or in a trade. They will make the numbers work. Don't sit here and be totally blown away by a $17 million number that allegedly Jalen Ramsey is going to get. We're not done. That's the funny part about all this. The Miami Dolphins are still... Chris Grier right now is in front of his computer, just like me, except he's not doing a podcast. He's talking about how the Dolphins can win a Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for it. I'm all about it. I'm on board. Pete's take with his $2 donation. X is not the same, and same can be said with Ramsey. Well, Pete, I love you, buddy, but I can't help you if that's how you're choosing to look at this thing. You are correct. X is not the same player that he was 2 years ago. But here's what I can tell you. When Byron Jones was on this football team, healthy, playing, X had one of the best years of his career because he was not the sole. It wasn't 100% on X to be the man in the secondary. He had Byron Jones to also help him. As a matter of fact, they threw to Byron more or X more than they did Byron, and he still had his best year at that time. So imagine what Jalen Ramsey's going to do in that secondary. All the pressure's not going to be on X. Not to mention Cater who gets another year. Not to mention Brandon Jones is going to be there. And Trill Williams. And we still don't know what the deal is with Nick Needham. As far as I'm concerned, Nick Needham still could possibly be on this team. The Dolphins are doing... Here's the thing. You're right. We can't win a Super Bowl in March. I understand it. I get it. We had the best offseason last year, and what did it give us? Didn't give us a playoff win. I get you. I hear you. I understand your reservations, Dolphins fans. I'm seeing you in the chat right now. I get it. But understand this. The Dolphins, Stephen Ross, Chris Grier, McDaniel Fangio, they are doing everything that you want your football team to do to be successful in the months of September, October, November, December, and into January, and hopefully playing a football game in February. And I'm not talking about the XFL or the USFL. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. The Dolphins are doing everything correctly. They're making all, like, you're not asking, you can't ask for your franchise to do more than what the Dolphins are doing. You can't. So for those of you who are skeptical about it, I understand your reservations as Dolphins fans. We've had 20 plus years of mediocrity. I get it. I understand it. But you can't be mad at last offseason. And so far, you definitely can't be mad at this offseason. They go out and they get the defensive coordinator, the most sought-after defensive coordinator in the NFL. Now they get arguably the best corner in the NFL. By the way, matched up with one of the best corners over the last 5 years in the NFL, and X and Ramsey on the same team with Cater Kahoo and Trill Williams and maybe Nick Needham. And don't forget Jordan Poyer. Come on. Come on. I understand the reservations of some of the fans. I understand that some of these Bills fans in the chat are straight hating. I'm sorry that Leslie Frazier said I wanted to take a year off. I'm sorry that all your players want to leave. It's the Dolphins' time. the Dolphins' time to take over the AFC East. The Dolphins' time to take over the AFC. The Dolphins' time to go back to the Super Bowl. If you're not ready, I don't know what to tell you. You might as well get ready to go to Las Vegas now. Let's go. Caslin 143. It's Super Bowl or bust for this team as of now. As is now, but I think you meant as of now. Is that a fair statement, Caslin? Good, bad, or indifferent? You make you make the necessary changes for your franchise to be successful during football season. The Dolphins are doing that. To make the blanket statement it's Super Bowl or bust for a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 20 plus years, I don't know if it's necessarily fair or even what's the word I want to use? I don't know if it's Super Bowl or bust, but I'll say it's AFC Championship game or bust. You got to make the AFC Championship game with this roster. You have to. There's no I don't want to. I want to get to a Super Bowl, and I understand it. I think we are a Super Bowl team on paper as of now. But you got to remember a couple of things. And Steven's like, oh, hold up, Steven. Where's that energy you had 2 minutes ago? No, I just want to be real with you all. We still have a quarterback that has issues being healthy 100% of the time, right? I love him. I'm glad he's going to be the Dolphins quarterback this coming up year. Let's see what we do with the backup quarterback position, right? The Dolphins are going to have the second hardest schedule in the NFL next year. We're going to be playing some dogs. Okay? We got the second hardest schedule. We play in one of the best divisions in all of football, the AFC East. But if the Dolphins prevail, if the Dolphins do what they need to do and win football games in 2023, I'm telling y'all, there's going to be no denying it. We would have beat a Jets, a Bills, and a Patriots team. None of them are really scrubs. I'll give credit where credit's due. Buffalo's ran that division for the last few years. Jets are getting better. They're one of the hottest up and young and upcoming teams. Patriots still have Belichick at the end of the day. You never know what they're going to do. But the Dolphins? You can't deny. You can't tell me that Patriots fans, Jets fans, and Bills fans deep down inside aren't like, hold up. What they do? Jalen who? We got three great Jalens on our team. Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Phillips. Who's the other Jalen? I'm missing one more Jalen. There's one more Jalen in there. I mean, they're doing absolutely amazing. I have not, and when it comes to positioning yourselves to be a successful franchise, Jalen Waddle. How did I forget Waddle? Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Ramsey. Which Jalen is the best? Hey, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead. And next on, who's your Jalen? We got three amazing guys. One plays wide receiver, one plays corner, and one plays pass rusher. Who's your Jalen? Put it in the chat below. Come on. I don't know about you, but I love all three of them. They're absolutely amazing. You can't diminish this GM and what he's done to put this team in a successful place to win football games. Pete's Take with a $5 donation says, getting Ramsey is the splash move to make Tua doubters get sucked in. It happens all the time. Tua haters bought in now, and it's all over a cornerback, not a quarterback. Come on. You already know there's going to be doubters and haters. There's going to be people that believe, look, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. I'm just going to throw it out there. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Why can't Tua win a Super Bowl with this crew? If you can't get excited over this crew with this roster, I don't know what to tell you. And we're not done. What happens when the Dolphins go out and get Poyer? What happens when they sign Wagner? What happens if they go out and get Laramie Tunzel back and bring in another offensive lineman? What happens if they get Dalton Schultz at tight end? You can't tell me this team's not going to be set up in prime to win a Super Bowl. Now, here's what I will tell you. Here's where you're not going to get an argue from me. And I said it a little bit ago. I'll say it again. The Dolphins have no excuses this coming up year. There's none. You don't get an excuse. There's no excuses this year. You have to win with this franchise. Noob says, Poyer, Wagner, we running a nursing home now? Come on, Noob. Pete, I agree 1,000%. We are off season on paper champs. We'll believe it when we see it, Steven. Steven, I'm not a Tua fan, but man, even he can lead this time if they pick up more O-line help. I agree with that. I don't disagree that they need to address the O-line. I think they're going to. Scummy, what did Scummy just say? Bills now need to get Derrick Henry just to compete in the AFC East. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. That's right, Ron. He did. Word of mouth says, we don't need Poyer. We got Brandon Jones. Go get the help on the O-line. Every free agent year, we are going to the Super Bowl, Ritter says. Trade Agba and Cedric Wilson for Tunzel. Steven, to be fair, this team underachieved last year, Canes 1985. I get it. Sounds like some of you have reservations on going all in. I'm telling you right now, go ahead and put your hearts into it. Just let me tell you all a story, okay? There's this young child. And this young child grew up loving this amazing quarterback named Dan Marino. Maybe you've heard of him. If you haven't, what are you doing watching this channel anyway? But this child knew and grew up on stories of what a great quarterback was. I just want to remind y'all, that great quarterback that we love oh so much, that is the reason I'm doing a channel today, didn't win a Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you right now. You ready? Are you listening? I don't think y'all can hear me. Is this thing on? The Dolphins roster now is better than any roster Dan Marino had. Did y'all hear me? This roster right now is better than any roster that Dan Marino had. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because I don't think y'all heard me. That's no disrespect to those other rosters. Richmond Webb, who's a good friend, love the guy. 2 thumbs up. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Hit the like button if you think Richmond Webb should be in the Hall of Fame. He might not agree with me. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I do know this. This is the best roster we have had in 30 years. 30 years. Word of mouth says best roster we've ever had. Adriel, he says that's facts. The White Carlton stand says I agree. I don't like. I do a show at almost every day on this channel, the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. And I deal with a lot of fans, and I interact with a lot of fans. And I understand the PTSD that fans have with this team. I get it. I get that it's hard to put your heart into something because, look, as Dolphins fans, our hearts have been ripped out many times. Many times. But fans my fellow Finlaws, listen, grab a ear. This team, this franchise is doing everything they can to give you a Super Bowl. You can't argue that. You can't. You cannot argue that. And if you do, you're lying to yourself. You are. You don't make moves like Jalen Ramsey. You don't finesse and fleece a team like the Rams and the Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs to go get great players, to go get great assets. I understand it. I get that you don't want to put your heart into this and have it ripped away because of, for whatever reason, whatever situation, or whatever reason the Dolphins have broken your heart over the last 20 years. But the Dolphins, as of March 13th, 2023, are Super Bowl contenders. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, you can't tell me a team that on paper doesn't give you the best chance of winning a Super Bowl this year over the Miami Dolphins. And that includes former this year's Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. On paper, they can't compete with us. They can't. And I get I'm being a homer. I understand it. I understand they got the GOAT in Patrick Mahomes. I get it. But the Dolphins are doing everything they can to put this team in a position to be successful and win football games. More importantly, big football games. More importantly, not just games in the months of September through December, but into January and hopefully into February. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Hit the like button on your way in if you haven't done so already. Over 180 of y'all in the building watching right now. Only 61 likes. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go subscribe right now. We are here Monday through Friday. Weekdays. Somewhere in the 9 o'clock hour we get on. And we try to go up till noon. Sometimes we go into overtime. But this team right here, man, the Dolphins are about to eat. Caslin143 says, I haven't bought a Fins jersey in years, but I will be buying a Ramsey jersey. He is the best cornerback in the league. Kansas City and Cincy are still technically better since a stellar quarterback is the difference maker, even when your roster is not as good as your opponents. Fair. I can deal with that argument, Scummy. That's fine. I can deal with that argument. I understand that argument. I will hear your debate on that. But I think that this roster overcomes any obstacles at the quarterback position that we have. I do 100% believe that. Cruz Ruiz says, I need to hear Tua time on this Victory Monday. Dedicate it, please, to Pete, please. Dedicate it to Pete, please. I mean, I'll play it for a second. I mean, why not? The Dolphins are about to do what they need to do, which is win football games. There's this guy named Tua. Maybe you've heard of him.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprise. Now we improvise. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Seeing this is the work of bro. To a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time.
Are you ready?
To a time. Time to grind, time to shine.
That's for you, Pete.
To a time.
Courtesy of Cruz.
My intuition told me this.
All right. I'm going to stop that. Let's go. Oh, look, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Miami has needs that they have to address, right? We need to know who's going to play tight end. That's the other side to this thing. What they had to give. Let me go back because there's a million things I can go over. But the fact that Chris Grier called the Rams, whatever the conversation was, whether it was the Rams calling the Dolphins or whoever, he got on the phone and said, here's the best I can do. I'll give you a 3rd-round draft pick and a tight end that's only had one career crash. That's the best I can do. I can't do any better. Don't ask for more. There isn't more. This is all I can give up. And for the Rams to say, you know what, Chris, that sounds like a good that sounds like a good deal. I think I'll take that. I think I'll take that deal. That sounds like a good one. Yeah. That Hunter Long? Yeah. He sounds like a football player's name. We'll just go with that. We'll just go with that guy. Sounds good to me. You're saying Noah Igbinogheni's not available? Only Hunter Long is? Are you sure? Okay, we'll go with Hunter Long. I'm telling you right now, Chris Grier fleeced the Rams. Straight fleeced them. Come on. Hunter Long? Here's the best part about it. We still have a 3rd-round draft pick. We still have a 3rd-round draft pick. We're still in the draft in the 2nd and 3rd round. That's amazing to me that we didn't even have to get out of a round in this upcoming draft. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Caslin is saying Ramsey wanted to come here. That's why. Here's the best part about this, Caslin. The Miami Dolphins, the last 2 off seasons, for 2 of the biggest players that were available via trade, a.k.a. Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, who, by the way, ran the 60 meters in a USA track and field tournament, and straight up, it wasn't even a track meet. That boy left them boys in the dust. Wasn't even close. Cheetah's the GOAT. Don't care. He's the fastest player in the league. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is he didn't even have the best trade on the table for Tyreek Hill. The Jets did. Didn't even have the biggest contract for Tyreek Hill. The Jets did. Same thing here. Didn't even have the best deal on the table, allegedly, for the Rams. I don't know who else did, but it wasn't the Dolphins. There were better deals on the table. But Ramsey and Tyreek Hill wanted to come to Miami, not just because it's a beautiful weather, and it is. It's gorgeous weather. I don't even live there, and it's cold here. It snowed this weekend. I live in Baltimore, for those of you who don't know. It's cold. I hate the cold. But anyways, Jalen Ramsey's like, warm weather? Yeah, I like that. I've been in California. I mean, LA, Miami, both cold weather, both good weather, warm weather places. Okay, what else? State tax? What? I make this much instead of this much? Oh, yeah, send me to Miami. Send me to Florida. Let's go. I'm sure that's a big difference. Tyreek Hill, same way. New York's going to take out how much in taxes? Florida's going to take out how much in taxes? Miami all day. But aside from all that, the Dolphins have Vic Fangio running their defense, huh? Huh? They have who? Javon Holland, one of the best young safeties in the NFL. Dude is a monster. Yeah, I'd love to go play with him. I get to play with a young guy like Cater Kahoo and Trill Williams. And by the way, X, and I get to line up every day at practice against Tyreek Hill. Iron sharpens iron, boys. Let's go. Let's go win us a Super Bowl. I'm excited. I don't care if you're not. I am. You ain't going to take away my joy. You ain't going to take away my happiness. I've never been this excited as a Dolphins fan. Never. This team is set and primed. This GM knows. Here's the other part, too. For fans that are sitting here saying, well, his talent evaluation is whatever. The man is a genius when it comes to trades in the NFL. Let me say it again. I don't know if there's a better GM who has a track record of the trades that he has made in the league to get talent the way he's gotten it. Do y'all know that Tyreek Hill's cap hit this year is only like $1.1 million or $9 million, something like that? 1.9 million, I think, is the highest. I'll hit the horn. I don't know what else to tell you. The a-hole in me can't wait for a collapse for your reactions. But the fan in me is trying to beat up the a-hole in me. I'm not mad at you, noob. I'm not mad at you. I love you, noob. Lewis A., Rainbow Chaser. It's all right. I'm all about the rainbows and gumdrops over here. Bring me all the unicorns, rainbows, and gumdrops. I just want a Super Bowl ring. I just want to go to a Super Bowl parade in Miami. Just think about a Super Bowl parade in Miami. That's all you need to do right now. Let's go. That's all you need to do. We got the 3 best Jalens in the league. Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Phillips, and Jalen Waddle. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Man. Grier's been here for 10 years, and we've had nothing but failure, Scott Jackson. Scott, you've been watching my show for a long time. I like you. You're a good guy. But, buddy, you can't think like that right now. You can't. Forget the end. Forget the last. Just erase the last 10 years out of your mind. Understand what we are doing today. The Dolphins are setting themselves up to be one of the most successful teams over the next 2 years, maybe even 3 in the NFL. Everybody's sitting, and there's so much pushback that people are giving within the fan base because they don't want to believe that the Dolphins are making the correct moves. Lewis A says, do we have Jalen Hurts at quarterback? Because that's the Jalen that went to a Super Bowl. Okay, Lewis. You ain't gonna steal my joy. You're not gonna rob me of my joy the way the Dolphins robbed the Rams of Jalen Ramsey. Not gonna do it. Hate don't live here no more. It's all about love and kindness and positivity. You want to go hate? Go somewhere else. Go hate somewhere else. I'm over the haters. Not going to do it. Be excited for this team. I don't know. I don't know. All right, look, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Here's what I'm going to do. Because this is a show for the fans, made by the fans. I'm not going to do a panel. I'm going to open it up one at a time. I'm not going to have you on all day. We're going to do quick reactions. Quick reactions. I want to know what you think about this trade and if you are excited about it. And if you're not, which I know some of you aren't, because some of you live in depression land and just are not happy with anything the Dolphins do. I never want to hear anyone tell Steven that Grier isn't a top 5 GM. Grier's a top 10 GM minimum. There we go. I opened up the link. The link is in there for you. Come on, tell me how you really feel. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not excited, today, I'm going to hate on you. I might even drop you. You're going to get a chance to come on for a minute and say something. But you keep on bring it. If you are negative about it, come on. I welcome it. But you ain't going to last long today. That much I know. You're not going to last long. I'm all about the positivity today. Bring it on. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, hit the like button. Only 82 likes, 200 of y'all watching right now. Miami Dolphins making the trade yesterday for Jalen Ramsey, robbing the Rams. Rams might as well move back to St. Louis, but they got the Battlehawks now. Let's go, XFL. Caslin143 says, if they add my favorite quarterback over the last 20 years, Rivers, I'll have my 2 favorite players on the team. LOL. All right. We got some people in the back room lining them up just to mow them down today. Hey, just so y'all know, be on alert. You're going to get spicy, Steven, today. Just like y'all saw Spicy's Tua at the end of the preseason, you're going to get spicy, Steven, today. Don't do it, Lewis. I'm not playing with you, Lewis.
Hey, Steven, good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good. I'm doing good. So since you're spicy to it, does this mean you're going to give all your energy today and then you'll be out for the next 4 weeks?
Oh.
I'm just asking before we start this thing off. I was just asking. Don't get it all today's away, Steven. You might be out for 4 or 5 weeks. You might fall off your chair and bump your head and
ain't nobody falling off this chair. Ain't nobody falling off this chair, Lewis. I'm right here. I got arm rest and everything to keep my big old butt in here, sir.
Listen, I like the move, Steven. I think the move is good, right? But I keep hearing everybody say we fleeced the Rams. We gave them a third-round pick. Okay, that's fine. But do we also have to pick up that $35 million guaranteed for the first 2 years, correct?
I'm telling you right now, if you don't believe that Chris Grier's got a plan for that, because his track record, you can argue with me about talent evaluation, Lewis. What you can't argue with me about is that he's a genius and master manipulator when it comes to the salary cap. So are you really worried right now at this moment about the salary cap? You could say the future maybe, but right now, does it matter? No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
But it does matter because I think you made a great point. The only way it doesn't matter if this team doesn't win a Super Bowl. But if this team doesn't win a Super Bowl, then we're looking at going back to the same old Dolphins. Because all you're doing when you're—
But this isn't your dad's Dolphins, sir. This is not the last 20 years Dolphins, Lewis.
It's been
you
my
can't
Dolphins.
tell me this offseason and last offseason is – look, we've won an offseason before a few times, right?
Right.
Well, I'm not saying we haven't, but you can't tell me these last 2 off seasons haven't been different. They've been different, Lewis.
What have they been different?
Are you kidding me?
What's different? Last year, you just said we won the offseason last year. Look at Connor
We
Williams.
did. We sure did. We won the offseason last year. And
absolutely.
By the way, it set up a foundation. First, by the way, here's the funny part. Y'all talk about our GM and Chris Grier, that he's not even a talent evaluator. Part of the people that are part of this foundation, draft picks, Lewis, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland,
Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson.
Oh my God! You want to bring up the negative side? So be it.
You want to bring up the positive? So be it. All I'm saying is we won the offseason last year, and guess where we are, Steven? You might as well have just played the Monday after the first day of free agency last year, because that's where we are. We're 9-8. That's where they got us. You know what Jalen Ramsey is? I'm sorry to hurt y'all guys' feelings. You know who he is? He's Xavier Howard 2.0. He gets beat a lot.
Hold on. Where's it at? Where's it at? Lies. Cap.
You know what that sounded? You know what that sounded like? Stephon Diggs week 1 last year against the Rams. You want to pull up those numbers? You want to pull up those numbers against Jalen Ramsey and tell me what Stephon Diggs did to him? Yeah. I know, Steven.
Please, Lewis. I don't.
It's a good move. It's a good move, Steve.
It's a great move.
It's a good move.
And we're not even done. We're not even done. This is just the beginning of what we're going to do over the next few days.
I hear you.
Lewis, I don't know.
It, man.
You can go be negative somewhere else, Lewis. But
I'm here I'm just trolling, Steven. I love seeing everybody in the chat go crazy and get you all worked up. I love it.
Look.
It's great.
I love the Dolphins just like you do. I'm not saying you don't. You and I both love the Dolphins, okay?
Agreed.
But I'm living in a world. The world I'm choosing to live in is one that the Miami Dolphins are Super Bowl contenders in 2023. I don't know about you, but we are. And I believe that we are right now.
I agree.
You agree that we're Super Bowl contenders right now?
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Okay, so be happy, Lewis. Put a smile on. Let me see a smile.
I believe we were Super Bowl contenders last year, Steven.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Again, when we were 8-3,
there's 200 plus people in here. I don't normally get that amount on my show, so don't be capping in here for people that are normally not watching the show. Don't be capping, Lewis.
I don't care about all these cereal eaters, these Lucky Charm eaters, and chasing rainbows. I don't care about none of these people, Steven.
Okay, I'm watching.
I'm gonna let y'all have it. Congratulations, y'all made a move. It's not over. We're Super Bowl contenders until the season starts, and then we're back to the same old Dolphins.
I love you, Lewis. I love you, buddy. Be good, okay?
I love you, too. Y'all be good.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. If you want to get on, the link is in the chat. I'm going to bring you on right now. Make sure you hit the like button. Only 97 likes. Only 200 of y'all, only 200 plus of y'all watching right now. Need to get them likes up. If you want to donate to the channel, help the channel grow, greatly appreciated. If you put a super chat, I'll read your super chat in there. Let me bring on the next person. D'Angelo, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Are you excited? I'm excited.
Of course I don't know what's wrong with Lewis. I think he drunk something. Just
Haterade. He drunk the Haterade, D'Angelo.
But look, let me show you something, Steven, because I watch your show so much. Let me just show you something. Look.
My man. I like it. You got me on the TV.
I got you, man. I be watching. Listen. I don't blame Lewis, but listen to me now. Do not stop believing that, because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be tailgating in Miami by me already being there. I'm telling you, boy.
What you're saying is you're coming to East 32 Dolphins tailgate with Tail Greeter, and that we should download the app on our Apple and Android device. Shameless plug of Tail Greeter. Let's go.
I got you, because I'm gonna invite Lewis. Lewis he will be there. You just listen to me. What you just said was crazy. You gave up a 3rd round and Hunter Long.
Hunter Long. There's a GM in the NFL that said, yep, I'll take a 3rd round and Hunter Long for Jalen Ramsey. Are you crazy? He convinced a GM of an NFL team to take to get rid of the #1 quarterback in the league for a 3rd string tight end that has only caught 1 pass in the NFL.
Hey, so let me just make this. You got to pin this. So Hunter Long is the greatest tight end ever for what he just did.
Sure is. He to go. Love me some Hunter Long. Good luck in LA, buddy. That's all I know.
Then listen, Steven. He know it's coming. Bobby's coming. Poya already said he liked Miami. I know.
People want to come here. That's the other part. We are a destination. People want to come to South Florida, and not because of the tax breaks and good weather, but because of what we're building here as a team.
Of course, you got Mike McDaniel as the offense and Vic as. You're not wrong about that. You got Vic as the defense.
Look, I don't care that we have 2 head coaches. I'm good with that. Let it go. Yes, we got Vic Fangio running the defense. Yes, he has a straight line to the GM's room and doesn't have to go to the head coach. Don't care. Sure don't.
Oh, sure by the way, I will be getting the rest of mine. Because I do actually have.
Look at you with your Tua.
I'm getting it ready. I'm getting it ready.
Here we go. I'll just for a second.
All right.
That's for you right there, D'Angelo.
I
Little
got
tour
you.
time. You got yourself a little tour time, don't you?
Of course. Of course. Of course. I'm
All
looking
right,
for my
D'Angelo.
other
Hey, where you calling from, man? Where you from? Where you at?
Liberty City.
Liberty City. Let's go.
And I got one more for you. I got the
Cameron,
Cameron
wait, Zelle.
with everybody with Kenny Steele's signature, a lot of people's signature right on it right now.
Love it, man. Love it, man. Hey, man, keep watching the show, man. I appreciate the love and support, man.
I got you. I'm still watching it right now. You add more people on it. I'm watching it right now, sir.
Look, you up there too? You see yourself seeing yourself,
Yeah.
watching yourself. Let's go. Let's
I
go.
got you.
All right, D'Angelo, be good, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, let's bring on the next person. This person. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to hesitate to bring him on, but I'm going to bring him on just because. Here we go. Let me go ahead and do it. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning, Steven. Why do you treat me that way?
I would never do such a thing.
Why do you treat me that way?
I would not. Pete, first of all, you know I love you, Pete.
We all love each other to some extent. We love each other as people, but with Dolphin thoughts, I don't think we love each other like that.
I didn't say I didn't love you. I just said your takes are a little out there. You and your gas station attendant sources, okay? That's all man. That's all I know.
Steven, this is what I got to say, man. And thank you for having me up like this because I love it when I get to let it out off of my chest, baby. This is what I need. When I'm looking at this Jalen Ramsey trade, you see the guys are going at me in the chat, on Twitter. They're going at me because they absolutely think, and shout out to D'Angelo for showing that Cameron Wake jersey. Because, yes, I'm going back to 2016, guys. 2016, when we ended up getting what? Ndamukong and Sue. That was the team, right? And who did we trade for to finish off that defense? We traded for Byron Maxwell, and we got the middle linebacker we were missing, Kiko Alonso. That was the move to plug in next to X. We were going to be great. Yes, that's what it was, remember? That was going to be the top cornerback duel in the NFL. Byron Maxwell, sloppy 41 with Xavier on the other side. You know?
Do not compare those signings, those acquisitions.
No, they're truly comparable. They're actually this close to being not the player, but the transactions, the trade, the sale, the way they made the fans believe. And dude, I actually thought we were going to the Super Bowl that 2016 year after those pickups.
You were just as delusional as most Dolphins.
Delusional, bro. We had Jay Ajayi, we had Tannehill coming off his new contract. We had Jarvis Landry, and we just signed Kenny Stills. Dude, we had Sue, Cameron Wake, Jordan Phillips that we had just got out of the draft. That was one of our best teams.
I'm going to tell you right now, I never thought we could get to a Super Bowl in the last 20 years, but I did think we could win a playoff game or two.
That was actually the best offensive line. We had Bushrod, Tunzel, Poundsy.
Pete, be honest with me. Let's talk about right now. Let's be in the present.
I'm talking about right now. I'm comparing it to the 2016 year. We're being sold. It's a lie. Look, Steven, it's a lie. God. I'm not talking bad about Jalen Ramsey. Matter of fact, I love that guy. He's a really good corner. And in fact, he comes in
the NFL, arguably.
He's already better than Xavier Howard. Okay? There's no even ifs, ands, or buts. He's the best cornerback right now on their team. I agree with that. Okay? There's no talking or dogging Ramsey. I love that guy. But what they're doing to us, the way they're selling us, it's not happening. Now, I do feel
the way that they're selling us. Are you kidding me, Pete?
It's not going to work because this is what they're doing. Okay, they're driving us. And when I say us, not you, because you're a two-and-ear, Steven. You love this move. I'm talking about guys that have question marks on the most important position on the roster, which is quarterback. Okay, they are not going to fool me by missing out on a deal with Deshaun Watson that all we needed was four signatures, and we've had Deshaun Watson today, okay? We missed out on Lamar Jackson, okay? There's no Lamar Jackson. That's what we wanted. But now this move is what's supposed to make us happy, a cornerback, not a QB. No, I'm not going to fall for it. This is what Grier.
How are you excited for those signings back then, but not excited for this?
Because at that time, I thought Ryan Tannehill was a good quarterback. You know, we had just gave him a contract.
To be
He
fair,
wasn't limited. He wasn't limited.
Don't get me started, Pete, on the quarterbacks that you thought were good over the last 5 years.
Dude,
okay?
First of all, I hope Chris Grier's watching. Because me and him will both agree right now that him keeping Tannehill throughout the years would have been the most and best decision that he could have done, was actually keep Tannehill and continue to rebuild. We failed that trade.
And let me ask you, what did Tannehill do with the Tennessee Titans?
Oh, what did Tannehill do with the Tennessee Titans? I don't know. He went to AFC Championship games back to back. He won division titles while we were sitting here hoping we can do that.
When Derrick Henry wasn't playing, let me know what Tennessee did.
There's the narrative. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Steven, don't worry, because this season, let me know what Tua does without Tyreek Hill or without a Jalen Ramsey. Let me know what Tua's able to do without a left tackle, Teron Armstead. Don't worry, I'll wait. Or do we have to go back to Houston game? Dude, I am so hurt that we did not go after a real quarterback, and we're being, you know what's happening with me? This is like Pete right now, trying to lift 3 plates on a bench press. This is like Pete trying to lift 3 plates on a bench press, Steven.
You can't do that anyway.
It's not happening. I'm not going to be able to lift it. I'm not strong enough. So why even try? This season is stuck in neutral. You bought a car with a broken transmission. It's rinse and repeat, fans. I know what I'm telling you. This is just to make you guys feel like this splashy move is going to be the it factor. But you know what, Steven? I got to be honest with you. I'm so negative, but I'm usually negative like this during the offseason. But there's this slight of hope. There's this sleight of hand that could this slight. I have it.
For Tyreek Hill, trading for Jalen Ramsey, having the picks that we've had, having the foundation of defense, having the number 1 defensive coordinator, having a genius in Mike McDaniel, but you have this amount of hope. Pete, you better go somewhere with your takes today, because Pete, I love you. I hate to do it, buddy, but they're trash. Straight trash.
I'm just gonna tell you, man. You see the name right? Where is it? How do I point at it? Right there. That's the only hope we have, Dolphin fans.
All I see is your dirty fingernail, man. That's all I see.
They're dirty. I was washing dishes, so they cannot be dirty. They're super clean. But any other than that, I gotta be honest. Skylar Thompson, guys, believe in 19. Because that's the guy that can steal the show here in Miami. And Dan Marino knows it. And that is the it factor. That's all I want to say. I don't want to take too much time. I know there's positive guys back there waiting to kill me and talk positive. But that's what I want.
Or is you done?
I'm done, man. I want to hear some positive talk so my mind can actually learn some football. Bring up some knowledgeable guys. Fins up. Bless all you guys. I can't wait for this season, man. Stay blessed, y'all.
I hate your takes, but I love you. I hate your takes. Love you, buddy. See, I let everybody up here, no matter how bad their takes are. No matter how bad their takes are or their viewpoint of this amazing Super Bowl contending football team, I still let you up here. I still give you a shot. Let me bring on my man, Triple S Podcast. Good morning, Triple S.
Let's go, Stephen D. What's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
I'm good, Stephen. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
So am I. Can you let the other people of the fan base get excited too? Can you tell them to hop on board the train?
I'll do my best to get them on board, and I'll start off by saying this. I wrote a couple things down, but I'll start off with something I didn't write down. You just made me think about it. I won't say I was as far down that road as Pete is, but I definitely, when the season ended, it's the constant heartbreak that puts people in that position of negativity. And I can't hate on them too much because I've been there as well. I'm sure we all have.
Let me pause you, Triple S. I said it earlier. I understand the PTSD. I understand the reservations that some people in this fan base have, that they don't want to just put it all out there. What I'm upset with, and maybe upset's a strong word, where I want to just be like, what are you doing? How can you hate on this move? How can you hate about where this team has set themselves up to be in a position to be successful for the future? You can't do it. And if you are, to me, You're just straight hating. That's how I.
Well, Steven, I'll say this. You can't say what you just said. You can't say you can't, because as we just saw, people can. Very easily they can. What I will say is it's maybe not the best approach, because whether or not we want to believe it, for the most part, we've all had these off seasons where we get hyped up, we make a couple moves last year, Teron and Tyreek, and then it ends up with heartbreak. So what I would say to those people is, does it not get tiring being negative? And that's kind of where I was at, where I looked at myself and I'm like, man, like, this is tiring just being so negative. They're gonna get me negative at some point anyway. And if they don't, great. But if they do, I'm gonna wait till it happens. Right? They lured me in for another year. They got Ramsey. They've retooled a bit. We created a lot of cap space, so that kind of gets me excited. And again, I'm gonna just stay positive until they give me that reason to be negative again. They suckered me in. I kind of said it even after the Buffalo playoff loss. I'm like, well, at some point they're going to sucker me back in. They're going to make some moves, and I'm going to feel like we're going to win a Super Bowl again. And it's happened. But again, like I said,
Triple S, how close do you think? Triple S, how real quick? Lakers all day said Steven and Pete, does Tua play defense? Hell no. We still got a great defense, but we will see how this offense does because it still has questions. Let me ask you, Triple S, how far away do you think the Dolphins are from being a Super Bowl contender?
I would say
because I think we're there already. I think we're there personally.
For me, it's at least three pieces. And I'll go over them. But I want to talk about Ramsey real quick. And the main four things I want to talk about. The first thing, his perimeter run defense. He's one of the, if not the best tackling corner in the game. And as we all know, we have dogs in the middle, Sealer, Wilkins, guys that can eat up the run inside. But where we have struggled a little bit, if any, against the run. But I looked at the numbers. We were pretty solid against the run last year in all categories, to be honest. We didn't give up a lot of yards in the run game. But if anything, I would say our outside run defense was where we could use some help, and Ramsey's going to do that. The next thing I really love about the Ramsey move is the leadership. He wears a C on his chest in LA. I'm pretty sure he'll wear a C in his chest here. So I think that, having some young guys on that secondary, the Trills, the Caters, those guys of the world, adding another leader, it's going to just do nothing but good things for the defense, as well as, we added another big C on the chest in Vic Fangio, but that's another conversation. Next thing I want to say is he's a dog. Like, we all know he's a dog. He talks a little bit of, I won't swear, no swear jar. Talks a little bit of grease. I'll use that word instead. And I think that that's going to translate into increased practice intensity, which is just going to make the whole team better. He's already talking about going one-on-one with Tyreek in practice, so I'm excited about that kind of thing. He did get beat a little bit in coverage, but he graded very well. He gave up, I think, like
his
7
PFF was 86.4, which was the third best, only behind Sauce Gardner and Patrick Surtain of Denver.
That is true. That is true. But if we're just talking coverage, though, his coverage grade was 77. It's still a good grade. It's still a green. But he's had 86, 80, he's had 91.
But it was all on him in LA for the most part at the end. I mean, last year was a down year.
That's a struggling team.
Had a lot of injuries too.
For sure. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about Ramsey. Then I'll answer your other question, then I'll get out of here. I know you probably got a lot of people. You said, how far away are we? So I said 3. I think that, people are talking about Poyer's pretty much a done deal, and people want a running back. People want this, people want that. For me, I think that our biggest 2 moves, the next 2 priorities need to be 2 O-linemen. And I'll explain why. I think we desperately need to tackle. Even if he's not going to be like a surefire starter, if it's someone on the level of Austin Jackson to where if he gets hurt,
hey man,
at least something comparable.
Don't be surprised if Laramie Tunsil comes back to Miami. I'm just saying that.
I would love that, Steve.
Chris Grier has already said publicly that they text each other here and there, and that he has joked about coming back. I don't want Grier to get in trouble with tampering. But I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if the Dolphins make a trade to go after him. And I don't think they'd have to give up much to go get Laramie Tunsil. I don't.
I think you're tripping there, because if you think Houston's going to get fleeced twice,
hey,
I don't know about that.
Let me ask you.
If anything, they might get fleeced by someone else, but not by.
You ready?
Twice.
You ready? If Grier steals Laramie Tunsil back, is it not one of the and then we go on to win a Super Bowl with Laramie?
Of course.
Is it not one of the greatest moves in the history of football?
And that's why I think that Houston would be absolutely ridiculous to let it happen for anything less than a huge haul. But anyway, I'll finish up real quick. The reason I say the next two moves for me, well, maybe not the next two moves, but two moves that need to happen. Like even if you go out and you sign Poyer today, and you sign a running back and this and that, that's all fine as long as you sign at least or draft, sign and draft, whatever combination. I need two capable O linemen coming into this team before the season starts. Because the other thing, not only do I think we need a little bit more just on the starting line right now as it is, but also you got to think if guys go down, what were we last year without Teron Armstead? It didn't look great. It didn't happen too often. He played a decent amount, kind of what we expected, which was lucky for us. He didn't miss more than we expected. But when he went down, we didn't look great. So I need more reinforcements on that O-line. Definitely a tackle who can start games and play games. And then another guard, center, maybe someone that could play maybe both positions would be very helpful as well. So whatever we do, I don't care what order. So again, sign Poyer, great, whatever. Sign a linebacker, sign a safety, sign a
Hey, let me ask you, Triple S, if the Dolphins had to give up, let's say they gave up Cedric Wilson, Noah Igbenogany, and a second-round pick, and maybe a second and a fifth-rounder for Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, you take that all day, and then you abolish.
You do that all day,
Texans.
right?
Yeah, you do that, and then you abolish the Houston Texans organization for malpractice, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. If they take two passes off in the second rounder,
it would be amazing.
No, no. Yeah, I mean, as a Dolphins fan, 100%.
Look, we were saying, here's the funny part. We were saying yesterday, there's no way Jalen Ramsey would go for a third rounder and a backup player. Everybody thought at minimum he would go. You need at least the second rounder, probably a first rounder.
I thought it was going to be like a 2 and a 4 because of his contract.
Yeah,
I know he's like a first round type.
He went
player,
for a third and a third string tight end that has one career.
That was huge. That was definitely.
I'm just telling you. I'm gonna do my Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
So last thing I'm gonna drop on you, Steven, before I let you get to the next people. Just my order of needs: offensive tackle number 1, offensive guard number 2. Then I got MLB. Then I got safety, which is probably already sounds like he's already signed. We're just waiting to drop the news for Poyer. Then I got tight end. And I heard this name mentioned, Chris Mannertz from the Jaguars. Pretty good blocking tight end. I think he could help us a lot. We don't need a flashy guy there.
I'll be honest with you. Dalton Schultz is the name that keeps on coming up from me.
He's going to cost more.
That's where you're wrong, Triple S. According to Spotrac, he's gonna demand 13 to 15 mil this year, right?
Okay, Mannertz is going to get more than that.
Okay, we can sign him to a 3-year deal, give him a $15 million signing bonus, and make his and that so he would be and then you make whatever the salary is going to be over the next 3 years. He could easily be only a $7 or $8 million salary cap hit this year. Do you not take Dalton Schultz for a $7 or $8 million salary cap hit this year? You pull that trade make that signing all day long for that.
Yeah, but I take Mannertz for like $2 or $3 million before I do that.
I mean, maybe like I said, we don't need. By the way, maybe you're right. I'm telling you though, I think they've set themselves up to go after a decent tight end, but one that has great blocking ability. And Dalton Schultz, I think, fits that mold.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Then after that, I would say
Tanner Connor at the moment. Tanner Connor and Durham Smythe are the only two tight ends on this roster right now. They have to go after a veteran tight end. They do. They have to.
I feel you.
Now, with that being said, one of the things that we're going to get into tomorrow on the show is that there's 13 tight ends graded with a third rounder higher in this upcoming draft, and we still have a second and a third round pick. So we'll see, but I still think we're going to go after a veteran tight end. We'll see what happens. All right, Triple S, I got to get some of these other people, bro. Thank you so much for coming on today, man.
Yep.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Over 100 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. Over 200 of y'all watching. The Miami Dolphins setting themselves up to be Super Bowl contenders next year. That's what we're talking about right now. I want your reaction. Get in where you fit in. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Next person I'm going to bring up is William the Ice Tray Perry. What's up, William?
Good morning, Steven.
What's up, buddy?
Nah, I said nothing driving. I'm in the worst place in the entire world. I'm like right next to a prison and no signal. So it's like, if this drops
Well,
out, my bad.
hey, if you're next to a prison, dude, don't let Chris Grier get arrested, okay? Because I know he committed robbery yesterday.
Hey, brother, I would have never thought we would have gotten Jalen Ramsey for a 3rd-round pick. I just never would have saw that coming. I thought it was a great move. I sent you a message right whenever I found out about it, and obviously you didn't answer me because you're a sucker. I'm just kidding.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Look, I was with the family yesterday, man.
Oh, good. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. We did comedians doing drag on Saturday, and then I end up like at a club until like 5 a.m. So that was interesting. I met Brock Weaver, the UFC champ. The UFC fighter, Brock Weaver, by accident. Hung out with him. He's cool as hell. But
hey, man, I got a whole bunch of people. What else do you want to say about the Dolphins? I'm going through the Dolphins stuff this morning.
I don't think anybody. If everybody wanted to get Lamar Jackson, everybody who's upset about not getting Lamar Jackson, they weren't worried about the cap hit whenever you were talking about getting Lamar. So why are you worried about the cap hit when you're talking about getting Jalen Ramsey? That makes
so to play devil's advocate there, because he's a quarterback and somebody that deals with the ball every offensive snap, and Jalen Ramsey is on the defensive side that may or may not deal with, the ball, depending on how, good, what type of defensive packaging is being played.
Yeah, I get that, but you're not. But why? Don't say anything about the cap. Leave that.
I agree with. Let me just say, I agreed with you.
Mm-hmm. I got you. The only other couple moves: middle linebacker, obviously offensive line pieces, and then we're ready to go. Maybe a running back. If we can get Henry, I'd love to see that. But because he's a great blocker.
The Dolphins are not done, William. That's all I'll say to you, big guy. They're not done.
I don't think so either. I'm excited, Steven. I know I don't sound like it right this second because I sound terrible, but it's going to be a good year. Me and you will be sitting sitting wherever they're having the Super Bowl together.
I'm not mad at you, buddy. All right, man. Let me let you go. I appreciate you coming on. Love you, buddy. Be good.
Right, no problem. Love you too.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Let me bring on my man, Kaz. Good morning, Kaz.
Good morning, Steven.
Are you wicked happy today, Kaz?
Yeah, I'm actually really happy. My favorite corner in the league is on my team now. So
I know, bro. I know. Let's go.
And he has been for a while. I wish they would have traded for him. Back when the Rams were going after him, but hey, it is what it is. He's here now, and he's still the #1 corner in the league. I don't care what everybody else says.
I agree
the stats
with
are
you.
wrong.
I think you can look. You can. It's easily. You can debate it all you want, but the numbers and look. He's still. If he's not the best, he's still a top 3 corner in the league. Okay,
yeah,
so be it.
What he had to do all the injuries he had last year, and what he had to do last year, it was only him on the Rams.
And by the way, I say the same thing for X, right? X had to deal with all the injuries with people last year, and it was all the onus was on him. Now these two guys get to play with each other, and everybody will be healthy, along with the other people that you're going to get in the second. Come on, how is? This is the best secondary in all of the NFL.
I love the partnership between them. It reminds me going back to Surtain and Davis and Madison and Surtain, those guys, just a partnership. But what makes me more excited about it is just the fact that we have such a mastermind on defense and the schemes that he's going to be able to pull off with both of these players, because they both can play.
Let me ask you, what do you think was the reaction of Vic Fangio when he found out that there was an opportunity that they could go get Jalen Ramsey?
I think he was excited. And I'm not saying anything bad about Byron either, because I think Byron in this system would have been lights out as well, just like he was with Flores. But I with just the sheer fact of what they're going to be able to do, the schemes they're going to be able to pull up, the disguises they're going to be able to do, having Jalen either sit back and come up and switch up, it's just
Miami to me on paper defensively top 5 in the league. Where I think they'll end up next year is top 10. I think there will be a top 10 defense in all the NFL next year. It's very possible that number goes higher. And it to me, it's just, I mean, there's endless possibilities that Vic Fangio on the defensive side can run. So yes, we have the second hardest schedule in the NFL next year. Yes, we're going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, we're going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, we're going to be playing the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets and all these other teams and the Dallas Cowboys and all these teams that can, hey, put up some points whenever they need to, right? But at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins on the defensive side of the ball, quarterbacks are going to have nightmares playing against us because they're going to be worried about getting sacked from the defensive front. And by the way, we don't even know what the linebacking room is going to look like, right? We have an idea of where it could possibly go, but from the pass rushing side, I mean, come on, Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler, that's your front four. Come on.
Well,
that's
you're not
crazy.
playing. Yeah, but you're not playing a front four with him. Well, again,
no, I mean, you're not, but still, like those guys are going to be on there, 3 out of every 4 plays and on the defensive side of the ball. And that doesn't mention that they're still going to have to get rid of it and throw into a coverage that has Javon Holland, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Cater Kahu, Trill Williams, allegedly Jordan Poyer, maybe even Nick Needham. I mean, come on. Crazy defensive secondary.
I think we're, like I said earlier, I think it's Super Bowl or bust. Because just with this team, I mean, I get it. Even with this defense as good as it's going to be, you're still going to have the best quarterbacks in the league who are the elites. Still going to be able to put up some numbers. They're not going to put up 400 or 500 yards against this defense, but Fangio is going to make them work for it, and that's the bad quarterbacks. No, this defense is going to eat that team up all day long.
Absolutely amazing,
it's
man.
the good quarterbacks that's going to, so you still have the Patrick Mahomes, you still got the, Herberts, you still got the Allens, the guys that are, at the top of the game, those guys are still going to be able to do okay. But I don't know. I mean, who's going to cover who? And it's crazy.
The matchups are going to be insane because, it doesn't matter what type of offense. Here's the funny part, Caslin. There's no other team in the NFL, with the exception of maybe Cincinnati, and you can't even really say Kansas City because, I mean, the Patrick Mahomes thing is one thing, but I mean, the established weapons they have, they're not to our level on the weapons side. There is no other team in the NFL for the most part. I mean, and like I said, the only reason it comes to mind with Cincinnati is because their tight ends and their wide receivers and their running back situation is decent too. And their offensive line obviously is decent, but their quarterback obviously takes sacks. But with the exception of the Bengals, Kaz, there's no other offense that's going to be as explosive as ours. So our defense that's going to be amazing every day, who are they practicing every day? One of the best, most explosive offenses. So it's the iron sharpens iron theory too. And it's that I look at where I'm like, man, our defense is great, but they're playing against a great offense every day. I mean, when they line up against teams next year, they're not going to be scared of anybody. They're not.
I agree with you to a point, but I think the Chargers still have probably just as good on paper as offense as we do. It actually better at the quarterback position, but the receivers is just as good, tight ends just as good, running backs better. I mean, just offense period is. And now Kellen Moore, they're going to put up a lot of numbers too.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anything else before I let you go, Kaz?
No, I would love for him to go out and get Phillip Rivers and as a backup quarterback for let him come out of retirement and be the
Phillip
backup.
Rivers is not coming out of retirement, nor do I want him, Caslin.
I would love him. That's my favorite quarterback over the last 20 years or so. So that don't put hopes. Don't put holes in my dreams there, pal. I don't put them in yours.
All right, buddy. I love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on today, Kaz.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. If you guys want to get on, the link is pinned to the top of the page on the chat. Would love for you to get on. Want to remind y'all, we are doing a bracket this year that I should be sending out emails later on this evening or first thing tomorrow. We're running a bracket poll on CBS this year. Brackets will be set, obviously, on Sunday. If you want to invite, DM me your email. It's $20 per bracket. You can do up to 3 brackets per email. And the top 3 pay out. You can Zelle me, DM me for the Zelle, or you can pay through Cashapp or PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network or $ MSM Podcast Network. So we'd love to get as many people as we can into that. That would be just a great thing. Top 3 will pay out, and you should be getting an email later on tonight or first thing tomorrow. So it should be good for the bracket. It'll be a lot of fun. So you got to fill out your brackets quickly when you guys get it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure y'all do that. All right, let me bring on the next guest. Sharif from the Bahamas. What's up, Sharif? Good morning. You're on mute. What's up, man?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me properly?
I can hear you, man. Loud and clear.
Great, man. Fins up. I've been looking at this from like the GM standpoint. Of course, I just look at like how this team has been building over 3 years. So I'm looking at what completes this team. And it's free agency now, so I'm really not looking at the draft, even though we're past the Senior Bowl. So I'm looking hard at Dalton Risner. And now that we've got Fangio, he plays for the Broncos. He's a left guard. He's rated in the PFF as top. So so that completes the offensive line for me, realistically. If we can get Laramie, that's fine. But realistically, Dalton Risner seals the deal with our left guard. And then we can have some guys who could play all position come off the bench. When I look at linebackers, Devin Bush at 24 is out there. And you have Jermaine Pratt from Cincinnati who's out there. That completes the linebacking core. Even if you keep Baker, now that we have the cornerback room full, you could potentially have Needham come back and Cater Kohu and Trill Williams in camp. So to me, what completes his team, in my opinion, is those moves right there.
Look, I think that the Miami Dolphins, when it comes down to it with the trade or with the acquisitions, the free agency, potential trades that are still on the table, there's a lot of things that they can do. So I understand that, people are talking about the $17 million cap hit that comes with Ramsey. I think that contract's going to get renegotiated and restructured in a way that's very cap friendly for the Dolphins. Again, we saw what the Tyreek Hill's only going to be. He's no more than $2 million as a cap hit this year. That's insane. I need y'all. That's absolutely insane. So when it comes down to the Dolphins and what they're going to do, as far as moving forward, you're right. We need to address the offensive line. We need to go get a middle linebacker. Where there's probably one more big piece to the secondary that we're going to get, maybe even 2 more, depending on who's available. I don't know what happens with the Needham situation now that Ramsey's here. I still think Ramsey does come back. Not Ramsey. Needham does come back, but maybe there's no room for him. I don't know. The other thing that is going to be addressed here too is, the offensive line, middle linebacker, and secondary is the tight end. So the tight end is somewhere else where the Dolphins need to go after. And for me, I want a good blocking tight end. I don't need to have a guy who's great in catches or great in touchdowns. I need somebody who can block as a tight end.
My projections is that, and I've done this a couple of times, and this doesn't mean a thing, but when it comes to tight end, I've actually seen what's his name, Tucker Kraft would be there. You have with this, I forgot the kid's name, Sam Laporta. So I think that's higher priority now. If you get Devin Bush, and if you get Jermaine Pratt, one of them, you now get Laporta or you get Dalton Tucker Kraft in the first round and your first pick, and then the priority would obviously be safety, because I don't think we can. If we get Pratt or Devin Bush, you cannot afford Poyer. That's just a pipe dream.
Well,
I don't think you.
I think I'll be honest with you. I think Poyer is coming. I think Poyer is gonna
For
he's
$2 million.
What to play in this defense? Poyer would.
You
be
can't give him 6.5. You gave Rowe that.
You can give him. You so
can't.
this is what
You
you can
just
do with
can't.
Poyer. You can give him
I'm
a
sorry.
2-year. You can give Poyer a 2-year deal with like a $7 or $8 million signing bonus, and make his salary, $1 million for this year and next year, and it comes off as what, a $5 million or $4 million cap hit this year.
So you're saying he's going to take a homegrown deal because he loves Miami? I don't think so. I think it's business. I think he's leveraging Buffalo.
Look at this Sharif, what I am telling you, and I know people think I'm crazy. This is one of those teams where veterans who might be thinking, man, I want to go after a Super Bowl or I want to win a Super Bowl. Why wouldn't you take a salary-friendly deal with a big signing bonus to come here and play with this defense?
For me, when I look at him, it's not his PFF. It's the fact that he messed his elbow up real bad this season, and I don't want him missing. Eric Rowe had a bad injury with his elbow last year, but not as worse as Wood Poyer. Poyer elbow bent the other way, and so to come down in the box and be as dangerous as he was, I think he's going to need to heal first. I don't want to take that chance on Poyer.
I'm telling you right now, Poyer. If I had to predict, Poyer will be a Miami Dolphin. I predict that will happen. So.
I think it's one of those things where we want Le'Veon Bell and we want what fits, right? You get Jermaine, you get the Fangio linebacker in there. You spend your resources on that, right? The safeties we have are already Pro Bowl caliber. Like that to me, that's being greedy, Steven. Like,
hey, I don't care. I want to win a Super Bowl. I'm good with being greedy.
But the thing is, right? Okay, you're scared of Brandon Jones going down. We got Campbell. We have Campbell in the waitings, and Trill Williams can move to safety. So my thing is, what is the need now to complete this run? Jermaine Pratt is a nasty downhill, faster, more equipped Roberts, Elandon. So and Devin Bush, we know what Devin Bush is from UM. No need to even go. We need that. I don't want a third safety who's going to rotate with my Pro Bowl safeties. What the hell am I thinking? So I need Jermaine Pratt, I need Devin Bush, and I need Dalton Risner to complete my left guard. Anything else is a fantasy, Steven. And it can fit in our cap.
Poyer's coming here, bro. Just let me know.
Right. I just think is one. Right. Okay, you do that right, and then Tua gets sacked. He bangs his head again, and I want the third safety. That's how I look at it.
Is there anything else before I let you go, Sharif? I want to give you a last thought.
I want to save Tua. I would rather just shore that lineup and get the linebackers than to get a third safety, man. I need Tua to be protected.
I think you're going to get all your wishes. I think you're going to get the safety. I think you're going to get, obviously, your linebackers are going to be Fangio's going to have priority over his linebackers, and I think the offensive line, is something that they're going to address. All right, Sharif, thank you for coming on, brother. Be good.
All right, take care, man.
Yep. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Hit the like button, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. If you want to get on the tournament, you can email me your email address DM me your email address at StephenDSKPL, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and send me the money through Cashapp, PayPal. And if you want Zelle, when you DM me, ask me what you want, where the Zelle you want me to send it to. It's $20 per bracket. Send it on. You can do up to 3 brackets per email. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. I talked about one potential trade target being Laramie Tunsil. The Texans have resisted trading him in recent years, but he has just 1 year and a non-guaranteed $18.5 million left on his contract. I 100% could see a world where Laramie comes back to the Dolphins. I don't know what they would have to possibly give up that Houston would want. My guess is, and here's what I want to know. Would you be mad at the Dolphins for giving up a second round this year? Maybe a third rounder? I mean, would you be mad if they gave up a second and third rounder? By the way, I don't think it would cost that much. But I'm talking about extreme case scenarios. Would you be mad if they gave up a first round next year? Would you be mad if they gave up 2 second rounds? I think that Tunzel could very well be back in a Dolphins uniform. I understand that they think that they can get a first rounder for him, but if Jalen Ramsey, and I understand, tackle and corner are two different things, but caliber-wise, player, I think that the Texans, even if they can get a first round, I mean, look, my personal opinion, Tunzel wants to come back to Miami. I think I would love to see. I think Grier would love to have him back. I think the team would love to have him back. And I know the fans would love to have him back. I 100% see a world where the Dolphins get Laramie Tunzel. And if the Dolphins finish up this season getting this offseason, getting Jalen Ramsey, getting Laramie Tunzel, signing Bobby Wagner, signing Jordan Poyer, getting a decent tight end, and then re-signing some of the home, running it back with the backfield that we got last year. Miami Super Bowl favorites. I don't know what else to tell you. 100%. What do you think it would take to get Laramie Tunzel from the Texans? Put it in the chat. I want to hear from you. If you're interested in getting on, come on. I got a couple more minutes left. I want to hear from you. There's more people, I think, that have a reaction to this as fans. Let's get a couple more people on before I get out of here for the day. I'm interested to know your thoughts of the Jalen Ramsey trade, where you see it at, and how close do you think the Dolphins are to a Super Bowl run? Very interested to know. What do you want the Dolphins to do at tight end? Is there a particular person that you want them to go after in tight end? Miami Fan Talk Show with a $5 donation. Thank you for donating to the channel. Can you imagine him coming back with all that he gave us? It would literally be the gas mask will go down as the greatest trade. Like it would just go down as the greatest thing ever. The fact that he fell to us in the draft, the fact that he was as good as he was for us, the fact that we could go out and then trade him for a buku of draft picks, turn those draft picks into multiple other draft picks, getting people like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, all these people, over the years. And then obviously Jalen Ramsey and then to turn around and get him back for a second or third rounder, or second and third rounder, whatever. It would go down as the greatest fleece in Miami Dolphins. And then if he comes back and wins the Super Bowl with us, I don't know what to tell you. Like it would be Grier's a genius. Grier's actually straight up genius. If that happens, I would love every second of it. Lakers all day. You were up here a little bit ago, man. What's up, man?
Hey man, what's up, man? I love
How
our
are you?
defense. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm mad about my Lakers right now, but
Hey, man. Hey, the Heat ain't doing much better, boss. So don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I know, bro. I know y'all ain't doing good, but I just felt like we could do something, with the Lakers, but we got a bad coach. That's it. But yeah.
What do you think about the Dolphins' moves, man?
I love, you know what I'm saying? I always love corners, you know what I'm saying? A person like Jalen Ramsey and his leadership and his, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to care what people think, you know what I'm saying? He's low-key going to tell what Tua needs to hear, you know what I'm saying? Like, people not looking at that, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jalen Ramsey, right? He's going to tell people, he's going to tell Tua that he's kind of sucks in practice. That's what he's going to talk trash to Tua. He's going to talk trash to everybody on the offensive line, the running back, the wide receiver, that's what he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So now the offense has to step up. You feel me? People worrying about the like, you know what I'm saying? The defense, yeah, that's fine. I'm saying, like, we have a great defense now, but now the offense has to step up. If the offense don't step up, we're not gonna go nowhere. That's how it is, man.
Look, I think we are going somewhere. And here's the other part that I didn't even get a chance to talk about today. Other players from around the NFL reacted to the trade yesterday.
Yeah,
and they were talking about, man, Miami's a vibe. Miami's the move. Miami's making moves. Miami's out here, trying to get wins.
Yeah,
Heather, and that's the thing. That's how I know this is different. That's how I know it's not just me feeling so excited about what the Dolphins are doing.
Yeah, because like Darius Slay said something about us.
Darius Slay, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Fins need to improve the rush offense, minimum 115 yards per game. BitBop 66 cents. I mean, I would love that, but it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Hey, Steven, what you think about go getting Bobby Wagner?
I think I would love to see it. I think it can happen.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if the Dolphins got Bobby Wagner and Jordan Poyer with trading for Jalen?
For me, I don't think we need Poyer because, you know what I'm saying, we have Brandon Jones. So Brandon Jones he can blitz, he can cover. He's a better Poyer than, you know what I'm saying? But I understand why people want Poyer because he wants to, just in case one of our safeties get hurt. But I like Brandon Jones. So I don't think we really need
Darth Vader asked, when does the tampering start? In about 45 minutes. Legal tampering it can start at noon. So it'll be interesting to see what the Dolphins do there. Stephen Bravo says, you hear it right now. We are going after McGlinchey, the right tackle. I've said that the Dolphins are going to go after him. I think that I agree with you, Stephen. I think that is somebody 100% where I see that happening. But overall, I mean, first of all, if the Dolphins got Laramie Tunsil on a trade and McGlinchey, and by the way, Ben Jones is out there too as a free agent from the Tennessee Titans as a center. I mean, think about this for a second. Put this in the back of your mind, y'all. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we got Jalen Ramsey, so anything is possible. Ben Jones signs with the Dolphins as a free agent, becomes our starting center. We move Connor Williams over to left guard. We sign McGlinchey of the 49ers. He starts at right tackle. And then we trade for Laramie Tunsil. And Tunsil, we can put him wherever the hell we want. And Teron Armstead, if he goes down, we still got Laramie Tunsil playing left tackle. So Teron Armstead, Laramie Tunsil, Connor Williams, Ben Jones, Mike McGlinchey. I mean, hands down, one of the, it would be that if that happens, there is no slander. None. I will not accept it if that were to happen. I mean, I personally don't think there should be none now, but I mean, could you imagine them making those three moves on the offensive line? McGlinchey, Ben Jones, and Laramie Tunsil?
That's a good move. I mean,
oh my God. Just make two of them. Just make two of those moves.
Low key, the Dallas Cowboys, they had a great offensive line, but they couldn't go nowhere either. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really all about the offensive line.
No, but we know that in order to have the insurance for Tua is having a good offensive line, not necessarily needing to going out and getting a bell cow running back. You need a good offensive line. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and by the way, I think that all those things can happen. Ben Jones being a free agent, love to see him come here. McGlinchey, obviously having the connection with the 49ers, with McDaniel, 100% could see that happening. And Laramie and Chris Grier are friends and they talk to each other. Why not? And it's not going to cost a lot to get them, I don't think. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins 100% could make all three of those moves, still go after somebody like Dalton Schultz or the Jacksonville tight end, whoever, and still get Bobby Wagner, still get Jordan Poyer. I mean, come on.
Hey, Steve, are you getting season tickets?
No, I don't get season tickets. I just try to get in, wherever I can get tickets at.
Yeah.
I was a season ticket holder back in 2018 though.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Hey,
cool,
Steven,
but it's a lot.
Steven, you know what you do? You should low key get like a house down in Miami.
I would
So,
love
like, you know
to,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I would
Like,
love
you know
to.
what I'm
It's
saying? When like
expensive,
you're over
bro.
there in Miami, and you can go. You know what I'm saying? Like just like get a house there, and then whenever
The
you
goal is
want to
that
go back.
Miami Sports Music Podcast Network blows up and becomes a mini Barstool Sports one day. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We
Hey,
will see
low
what
key,
happens.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Low key, you can probably get sponsored by a bar store, and then they can, you know what I'm saying? They can probably put you on, you know what I'm saying, on the little podcast they got, and then that's how you
Hey,
can get in with them.
maybe. Hey, tell them. Y'all tweet at them. Tell them about me. Let the hype build up. All right, Lakers all day. I appreciate it, man. Be good.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too. All right. Hey, breaking news. Ian Rappaport reporting the Patriots are trading tight end Jonnu Smith to the Atlanta Falcons as a former big ticket free agent heads elsewhere and creates cap space for the New England Patriots. Very interesting to see, that. I've heard it's Ian Rappaport now reporting a 7th rounder is all they had to give up for that tight end. A 7th rounder for Jonnu Smith. Not a huge, personally, I don't think it's a big deal. And gets out of the AFC East. I don't know who they're setting up to go get. You know what? That's a lie. I do. I'm telling you, an outside chance Gesicki ends up in New England. Chicago, New England, I could totally see Gesicki ending up there. 100%. Cat for Life says, Steven, are you the same guy that we said we didn't need a corner last week? I mentioned to you to go get Ramsey, Wagner, and Henry. You said, Sarney, no big names. They're too much money. You still think that now? Dude, I never thought in a million years that we could get Ramsey for what we got him for. Like, never thought that we could get him for a 3rd rounder and Hunter Long. Absolutely insane. So I think anything is possible and anything is on the table. Anything is on the table. Well, let me say almost anything's on the table. Just for those of you who want to know, the Dolphins are sitting tight at quarterback. All right, they're going to go after a backup, but that'll be it. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. A lot of fun this morning, hanging out, talking about this. I don't know. I know that the Dolphins are going to be doing some big stuff starting at noon today. It'll be a lot of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed the podcast today. It was a lot of fun. Guys, we're here each and every weekday morning. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a big day. We're going to be talking. I don't know. Actually, the original plan was to talk draft talk. I might actually say we'll just do free agent talk tomorrow since it's kind of opened up and moved the draft talk to next week. But either way, it's Hot Take Tuesday with Nando. We're going to have a big show tomorrow and a big show next Tuesday. Wednesday's Wildin' Out Wednesday. I have a big panel. Thursday's Throwback Thursday with Cameron. And then Friday, I got Jason Sarney on with me for Spread Kindness Friday. We have a lot of fun right here on the channel. If you enjoyed the content today, please hit the like button. It helps. It goes such a long way. And donate to the channel. If all 185 people that are watching right now donated $1, it would go such a long way into helping the channel grow. So we ask if you're able to donate, great. If you're not, that's fine too. You can help us and support us by hitting the like button, making sure your notifications are turned on, and sharing the content. It's a big deal. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. It was a lot of fun hanging out with y'all. I don't know what the Dolphins do moving forward, but I know it's going to be fun, and I know they're not done yet. This is the start of something great. It's the start of something big. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be good stuff. Yeah, we're doing a short show today. I got stuff to do, Rick. I got stuff to do, man. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow here on Hot Take Tuesday, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We might go live if another big deal goes down later on today, but ultimately, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all, love y'all. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds a gift. He know when to go with fits. so we know when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we in route. I don't know when, but it's